Hi everybody, Carol here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to be making a vintage fall card. And by that I mean a little vintage looking scene of a little boy pulling a wagon full of pumpkins. And I'm just showing very quickly here a pattern that I made that is totally unnecessary for anybody to use. But I ran it very slowly here if you wanted to pause it and look at my measurements, but you can eyeball it and make it any measurement you want to. So I used several colors of cardstock as well as the the stamped picture and some raffia and all of these things, so you will see it. These are the different colors that I used. Just very quickly I'll show you cutting them out. When I have one thin sheet of paper that doesn't really fit very well, I'll butt it up against right there, a whole sheet of paper to keep it steady so I can get a straight cut. Now I'm setting these all out. The colors will layer on top of each other. I'm going to stamp the image with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm going to use the stamp positioner in this case so I can be sure I put it just right. The spacing is a little tight, and that won't fit those wooden block stamps, which are also vintage in a way. Won't fit in a MISTI, so I'm going to use my old stamp positioner. Line it up. I've already stamped it off. You place that acetate sheet in the corner of the handle and stamp it off. I'm sorry that that didn't get recorded. Now I'm measuring. I'm going to have a black strip at the bottom, so I want to see where I do want to line that up. There's the handle. The acetate sheet fits up in that left-hand corner of the handle. Then when you ink the stamp up, you slide it straight down on that handle. And you can hold it tight and go back and re-stamp it, but I'm just missing a tiny bit there, so I'll just take a black Millennium pen and fill those little thin lines in. Now these are all the colors I'm using, all the strips of paper, so I'm using the Tombow Monomulti glue on that. It's white, but when it dries it'll be clear and then repositionable, which is a wonderful thing. Now I have two pieces here, one where I finished the coloring of the orange pumpkins on the left, but don't have the background paper on. The one on the right, I'm just starting to color with some yellow and some orange and brown stems for the pumpkin. I will color the wagon and the leaves, and that's all I will color. I'm leaving the boy clear. So then I switched it over. That piece is over on the left. Now I'm bringing the other one back in, and I'm going to use some raffia. And I'm going to separate this. This is way, way more than I need. It's almost like straw. And I find it works best if I just start pulling it apart in the middle and then work out the ends. If you started at the top, you would probably never make it to the end because it twists upon itself and sometimes just makes a big old nest of pieces that come apart. You may can tell I had that anchored down. I had my body leaning against the table, so that I can try to get some tautness there that I can work with it, and it really does help. So I'm tearing it apart, and then I will continue to separate it till I get a really thin piece and work with it, and then if I'm making several, I'll have a lot to work with. Now I'm going to lay it down approximately where I want it. I'm showing the measurement there, but it's not critical at all. But it was like 1/4 of an inch off the bottom of that gold sheet. Even going so far as to measure, probably pretty much don't do that anymore, but I was trying to be very accurate. I have glue on the back of that black sheet, so I'm putting the raffia down about where I want it to go. I'm gluing down the black sheet, leaving that little 1/4 inch, it might even be an 1/8 inch of gold showing. Putting it down, sandwiching the raffia. Then I'm putting the orange piece down where I stamped the word blessings, and off camera, lining that up. And then now the raffia is anchored between these glued pieces of paper, so all I have to do is just pull it tight and tie a knot on the front. I'm tying it off to the side not to cover up the word too much. And I'm going to be kind of careful that I have a good hold of it one end with my left hand and a good hold with my right hand so that I can give it a quick tug when I slip my finger out. I'm going to cut some of these off a little at a time until I'm sure of where I want it. Might go back and cut off a little more there. And I like long tails personally over short tails. That's just me. So I'm erasing some pencil marks that I made for the sizing. And then this is an old one that I had a copy of that was actually a Thanksgiving card. And then this, I want to show you very quickly. I did this on watercolor paper, and I actually watercolored these little images, the same stamp of course, but I even colored in his clothing and the leaves, and I love the pumpkins there. So watercolor is a whole different look there. So there are the different styles of this card that I made, including the older Thanksgiving card that I made. You can see a little difference in the colors, and I like them all. It's just whatever you prefer. And so I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something out of it and might give it a try. I just love the vintage look, so it makes me smile anyway. So here's some still shots. There'll be some more videos shown at the end if you want to go back and look at them, and a subscribe button. But thank you so much for joining me. See you soon. Bye-bye.